This will be a demonstration of the functional gait assessment. To begin, we're going to do gait on a level surface and combine that with gait in a pivot turn for convenience sake. For the norms for a gait on a level surface is that the patient will walk 20 feet or 6 meters in less than 5.5 seconds with no deviations. That would be a score of 3. A 2 or mild impairment would be slight deviations, the use of an assistive device, and completion in less than 7 seconds. A moderate impairment would include deviations, slower gait speed, and evidence of imbalance. And severe, a score of 0 would be the patient cannot walk this. And for pivot turning, a normal patient would be able to walk and turn around completely within 3 seconds and stop quickly with no loss of balance. Mild impairment would be as the same as before. They would take longer than 3 seconds. And moderate impairment would be turning slowly. Severe impairment would be that they could not turn safely at all. All right, Lance. So we're going to go ahead and do an FGA today. And so I got marked off here from this silver line to the silver line up there. Oh, not silver line, other line. It's 20 feet. And so I'm going to give you some cues here. Starting out, what we're going to do is just walk normal speed to that line, and when you get to the line, just stop, turn around, and we'll do the next one. Okay? All right? Whenever you're ready. All right, stop, turn around. Good. Next, we will have the change in gait speed portion of the exam. First of all, a normal score the patient would be able to smoothly change walking distances without a loss of balance or gait deviation, going from slow to fast at command. That score would be a 3. A mild impairment, or a 2, would be that the patient is able to change speed but deviates mildly outside of the norms. A 1, or moderate impairment, would be that the patient makes minor adjustments to walking speed and accomplishes the changing speed with significant gait, or accomplishes changing gait speed with significant deviations. And a severe impairment would be that they are unable to task. All right, now this time, I want you to just walk, turning your head to the left. Oh wait, no, this time actually we're going to go walking down. I'm going to give you some change at speed things. So when you start normal, I'll say fast, you go fast. Say slow, you go slow. And we go to the line. Same thing, stop and around. Okay. All right, and you go. Fast, slow, fast, slow. All right, coming back. This time. Next will be gait with horizontal head turns. The patient will walk the marked 20 feet and begin walking at their normal speed, and then we will announce to turn their head right, and the patient will look right and left. They would do the same. A normal score would be that the patient is able to perform the head turn smoothly with no change in gait speed and no deviations. A mild impairment is that the patient continues to turn their head smoothly, but their speed changes and there may be slight deviations. A score of a 1 would be the patient would have slowed head speed and with greater severe deviations. Score of 0 would be that the patient is unable to make the head turn or complete the task. We're going to do some head turning. And so we're going to, when I say look to the left, and look right, and then coming back, we'll go up and down. Okay? All right, so let's go and walk. When I say look left. All right, and let's go. Look left, look right, left, right. All right, stop, turn around. Next, we will perform gait with vertical head turns. The patient will continue to walk on the marked 20 feet pattern. Instead of doing horizontal head turns this time, they will be doing vertical or looking up and looking down with the cues given by the therapist. Looking up, look up, and down, down. The patient will begin by walking their normal speed across the 20 feet pattern, looking up on command, and a score of a 3 would be that the patient is able to look up and down and follow command with normal gait speed and no deviations. A mild impairment would be a slowed gait speed with command and perhaps mild deviations. Moderate impairment would be that the patient slows the head turns and their gait velocity slows significantly or there is significant deviations. A severe impairment would be that the patient is unable to perform the task. This time we're going to go up and down. So look up, down, look down. Normal speed. And go. Look up, down, up, down. Very good. Alright, so this time what we're going to do. Next, we perform the gait with a narrow base of support. The patient will walk in heel-to-toe tandem stance fashion across the 20 feet lines. A normal score of a 3 would be that the patient is able to ambulate for 10 steps heel-to-toe with no staggering. A score of 2 or a mild impairment is that the patient is able to ambulate 7 to 9 steps with some deviations or staggering. A moderate impairment is 4 to 7 steps, and a severe impairment is that the patient is able to do only 4 steps or completely unable to perform the task. We're going to walk kind of like you're walking on a tightrope, heel to toe, just going down the line. We're going to stop in the middle, and I'm just going to move the corner and we'll get that one. Alright, let's go ahead. Good, stop. And keep going. And stop. Next, the patient will be stepping over an obstacle. The patient will begin walking at the normal gait speed for the 20 feet with an obstacle across the middle of the floor. The patient will be cued to step over the obstacle. A score of normal or 3 is that the patient is able to step over the obstacle without changing gait speed and no evidence of imbalance. A mild impairment is that there is some imbalance or changing gait speed. A moderate, the patient is able to step over the box with significant impairment. And a severe or score of 0 is that the patient is unable to perform the task. All right, this time we're going to walk, step over the obstacle, and keep going at normal speed. Okay. All right, when you're ready. Very good. All right. You're going to take a seat here. All right, stand back up. This time I want you to walk towards the line with your eyes closed. And go. And stop, stay this way. This time we're going to walk backwards. Next, the patient will be ambulating backwards. And this patient will walk 6 meters or the 20 feet without an assistive device. And the score of a 3 or normal would be that the patient is able to walk backwards without a change in speed or without deviations or staggering. A score of a 2 or mild impairment is that they have a mild gait deviation with a slower speed and some deviations in balance as well. Moderate impairment or a score of 1 is that the patient is able to complete the task but with a slow speed and abnormal gait pattern, evidences of severe imbalances and deviations within the walkway width. And lastly, severe impairment, not being able to perform the task. And I'll tell you when to stop, okay? All right, and then go. Okay, stop. All right, and last thing we're going to do is the stairs. Lastly, there will be a performance of steps or climbing up stairs to simulate what the patient would be doing at home, using the rail if necessary. At the top of the stairs, the patient will be cued to turn around and to walk back down. Normal speed or a normal score would be a 3, and the patient would be able to alternate feet with no rail. A mild impairment would be alternating of feet using a rail of a score of 2, and a 1 would be a moderate impairment of 2 feet per stair using a step 2 pattern and using the rail. A severe impairment would be that the patient is unable to perform the task entirely, or that the patient cannot perform it safely. So you're going to take a seat here. All right, last thing we have to do we're going to go up the steps like you would in your home. Let's see how it does, how you do. And when you get to the top, turn around, come back down. Alright, when you're ready. Very good. That concludes it. In conclusion, the FGA is a test or screen that is utilized for higher level patients and is purposed to be an all-encompassing fall risk screen. Reasons for utilization of this test over other similar tests, such as the DGI, are that the FGA utilizes higher level tasks and increases the applicability for patients with potential vestibular disorders. These activities include stepping over an obstacle, walking backwards, walking with your eyes closed, and utilization of different head turn movements, such as horizontal and vertical movements. For a patient not to be considered a fall risk, the cutoff score would be a 22. A score of 20 or below would indicate that the patient will have a fall within the next 6 months, which is very scary. In this patient, there were not any precautions for guarding, therefore, guarding only took place as a general sense in guarding the whole patient. And that was what was implemented. This patient scored a perfect score of 30 out of 30 and is not considered to be a fall risk.